tried to cater to y'all.
This entire situation is absolutely insane to me, and it's so freaking funny. All you had to do was watch the video. Okay, so obviously, you know, this channel is mostly about gaming. Besides the random bathroom episode we had 2 days ago. But, actually, before I actually get into all the meat of this, I should say that my videos are recorded 2 days in advance, so by the time that this is uploaded, this will more than likely be old news, and if it is, please do not bring up the old news to any of the people involved. Please don't bring this to any of the people involved at all. I don't want anyone to go witch hunting. I don't want anyone to go antagonizing anyone. Anyone. That even includes the person that I currently disagree with, because at the end of the day, we are all humans and we should all respect one another. Now that I've gotten that across, my friend SolarArts is a Rwby content creator. He makes content. He talks about discussion around Rwby and a lot of the core themes of the show, as well as talking about how the community perceives Rwby as a show. He went and made a video called "Is Rwby Misandrist?" Proceeded to change it to "Is Rwby Sexist?" Long story short, his whole point was, no, Rwby is not misandrist or sexist. It just has female leads. It just has a female center. It's not necessarily that it's, oh yeah, women are more important, or it's neither is it. It's men are more important. It's just the focus is on women. That's all it is. Simple as that. That was the point that he was trying to get across. A much larger channel witnessed this, and they proceeded to make a video about it. Judging from the conversation and interactions that I've had with this individual, the video itself was not made to combat my friend SolarArts' video. According to them, it was just SolarArts' video was made, discussion about it started happening, and then this much larger YouTuber decided, oh, okay, I'm gonna talk about this as well. And you know, that is perfectly fine. I understand that. I do that. I'm doing that right now. But the biggest issue comes from this. The lack of respect for another individual. Especially another individual who is such a significantly smaller content creator, has a smaller fan base than you do, and you actively chose to say, don't even consider this other person's perspective without even hearing their perspective for yourself. Feels like punching down, which they tried to defend it. They tried to say it was not a response video, which if it wasn't, I'm just making this to say there are other ways that you could have presented your video in order to not offend anyone, or in order to not seem like you are attacking anyone. It's very simple, very easy to just be like, hey, this little thing happened, and then boom. And while they did do that, they actively went and said a couple of underhanded comments that were extremely needless, and it blatantly fed into this narrative that the community has that my friend SolarArts is the spawn of the devil. And I don't understand it. I couldn't comprehend it. SolarArts is like one of the nicest people that I know, but I understand it's the internet. People are gonna have different perceptions of people because, you know, I know him personally, you don't. I get it. I'm gonna go back and rewatch the video so that I can properly quote this individual, so that I don't say that they said anything that they didn't say. All right, I'm back, and to give you a gist, actually not even to give you a gist, this is quoted word for word, bar for bar. I'm not gonna watch the video because I don't respect the person who made it, and I don't want to give them any monetization. And I don't think you should watch the video either, because from what I've seen, from the ones who have seen it, from what they're talking about, it's all buffoonery. That is what this other individual has said about my friend SolarArts' video, and it's so funny when somebody who has a significantly larger platform, somebody who should be expected to, at the very least, before they attempt to call something out, or before they attempt to slander the name of someone, or before they attempt, now I'm not saying that this person did that specifically, but before they attempt to slander a video that someone made, before they attempt to slander a product that someone else has made and put it out into the world, I feel like it should make significantly more sense that at the very least, before you say even a single thing about it, you at the very least actually look into it. I think that we as people, before we say anything about anything, we should look into those things, because at some point you are just going to look like you are attacking something for the sake of attacking it. This entire situation could have all been avoided if all you did was simply make your video and do not bring up your opinions on the individual. You don't have to bring your opinions on the individual, you don't have to bring your opinions on the video, especially if you haven't seen it, into your video in order to contribute to a discussion. It's extremely simple, as just talk about what you want to talk about. I don't understand why we have to feed into narratives like this. I don't understand why we either are A, purposefully feeding into a narrative like that, or B, feeding into a narrative out of pure ignorance because we simply do not like the individual. Regardless, if you don't like the individual, that's perfectly fine. If you don't want to start anything, that's perfectly fine. But if you want to avoid any possible conflict, if you want to avoid any possible criticism of what you have said in your videos as a significantly larger YouTuber to someone who is significantly smaller, I think that at the very least, you should have heard out a different perspective. And if you don't want to hear out a different perspective, then do not comment on the perspective at all. Don't take the words from others that you've seen, or don't take the words from non-credible sources, because at the end of the day, you are just going to seem like you are punching down for no reason. I apologize for not trying to be as entertaining as I generally am, but I just wanted to get a point across, and I didn't want to say anything that may potentially offend anyone. If I tried to make a joke, I tried to say something that I know would be a little bit more on the out-of-pocket side, or, you know, akin to my regular videos, it would probably come across as if I'm trying to be, you know, a negative person, as if I'm doing something with this video that is inherently hypocritical. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I just want to help a general community come to a consensus that we should, any community that I can, any person that I can, that we as people should all look into things before we talk about them, and we should all have a general level of respect for every single person, regardless of how you feel about them. This problem seems to be a constant with the Rwby community from what I've seen. Most of what I've seen from the community happens to be conflicts involving my friend SoulArts, and it seems that a lot of the community is generally split, not a lot, but it seems that different sides of the community are generally split on how they feel about him. It seems that the YouTube side tends to, you know, hear him out a lot more, and the Twitter side tends to, you know, witch hunt. Which I don't understand. I think that all of us, generally, regardless of how we feel about an individual person, should, if we are going to engage with a person, at the very least hear out their perspective. It would be entirely different if it didn't seem as though you were trying to come across as a generally nice person and you went and turned around and antagonized someone. It'd be something entirely different if you were just an asshole and you were like, yeah, I'm gonna be an asshole today because I'm an asshole. It would be something entirely different. But it's the fact that we are all bandwagoning on one person because we don't like them and because we think that their opinions suck. How about we just hear out a different perspective and calmly agree or disagree with one another? That's the entire point of commentary. That's the entire point of letting your voice be heard. That is the entire point of video essays, etc., etc. Which, by the way, I'd like to acknowledge the majority of this little segment here is not about this individual. This individual has just seemed to feed into a problem that has multiple layers. This video is not about this person. I'm just utilizing this specific situation in order to inform this individual and inform as many people as I can about an issue that has been prominent for quite a bit of time. Generally, I think we should stop being such closed-minded individuals, and at the very least, give other people a chance to talk. Give other people a chance to say what they need to say, and if they make a mistake, if they say something that offends you, allow them to apologize. I don't understand why it needs to be a constant that we dehumanize everyone solely because of things that they've said on the internet and opinions that they have on fictional characters in a fictional series. I apologize for my aggression there. It just genuinely hurts me to see everyone dehumanizing someone over fiction. I think at the end of the day, we should acknowledge that we are people and people come first. I get it, your favorite show can be important to you, but at the end of the day, someone else's life and someone else's emotions are more important than your favorite show. I hate to say that. I know, I get it. I like my favorite shows too, but please, be nice. That's all I'm asking. That's all that I have to say. Be sure to check the next one. Like, subscribe, all that. Please don't be mean to this other person. I'm sure they didn't actually have any ill intent. It was probably just a mistake. Peace.